Welcome to Nationalism Hour on the Think Yoruba First podcast. I am your host, Abiodun. And alongside me is my dynamic co-host, Oluwatosin.
That's right, Abiodun. We are here to ignite your spirit and celebrate the pride, strength, and vision of our Yoruba heritage with our esteemed president, Oladimeji Bolarinwa.
Every episode, we dive deep into the heart of Yoruba identity, culture, and progress, challenging ourselves to think Yoruba first in all we do. This is Nationalism Hour, where we uplift, inspire, and build a future rooted in our legacy.
So, get ready for bold conversations, powerful insights, and a call to action with the president of Think Yoruba First organization, Oladimeji Bolarinwa. Let's make history together.
Oòduà á
Oòduà
gbè
gbè
wá
wá
o.
o.
Thank you, everybody, once again. I know a lot of people are so excited. This is not Yoruba Ronu. This is not every Saturday where you see Are's voice. Nationalism, I greet everybody in the name of Olodumare. I greet all my fathers, all my mothers on stage in the audience. I greet my wonderful comrades, both men and women, no matter the blocks, no matter where you belong to, no matter where you're currently listening to me. I greet you all in the name of the ancients and the creator of Yoruba civilization. Because the Yoruba civilization is an esoteric civilization, it's a spiritual civilization that refused to die. It survived transatlantic slave trade, it survived trans-Saharan slave trade, it survived wars, it survived famine, it survived colonialism, it survived sabotage, it survived internal riots, it survived persecution, it survived empires. It survived South America, it survived North America, and it continues to thrive and export itself all across the world. It is the name of that person that created that beautiful civilization that I'm greeting you today. Today's topic does not need any form of technical or philosophical jargons. You don't need to use Chat GTP or Grok or AI to understand what we are discussing today. Unlike some of our topics. Anyway, when it comes to Yoruba on Saturday, you'll be hearing all sorts of historical things there and other sociological terms. So the topic, today, we are starting a powerful program. It is going to be Nationalism Hour that is going to be across the wave on this space. And if you also want to be part of TYF, you have any skills, you are good at graphic designing, you want to join us, our team, you want to join media, you want to work in a newspaper organization, reach out to us. Because we'll be doing something, there's a lot of things TYF is doing, a lot of you are not aware of. There's a lot of platforms we have that you are not aware of, that it is being run by TYF. So we want to take this to a different level. And I want to thank the beautiful and wonderful supporters of TYF. You are the reason why we are doing this. You are the reason why we have the energy to do this. We are so grateful. May Almighty God continue to bless you all. Today's topic is, and I greet my beautiful co-hosts and my handsome hosts. May Almighty God continue to bless you all. We are so grateful. Are Igbos actually the problem of the Yorubas? Are Igbos our problem? We need to ask ourselves that question. We need to ask ourselves these fundamental questions. Are Igbos actually our problem? We need to actually ask ourselves this question. And it's a rhetorical question. And I'm going to try as much as possible to be sincere with us. And I'm going to say this today. Everything we accuse the Igbo people of doing to the Yoruba people, it's our fault. We need to start taking responsibility. Because the Igbos are doing what they need to do to survive in Nigeria. The question is, are the Yoruba people doing what needs to be done to survive in Nigeria? Do we even understand what Nigeria is? Everybody is trying to forge Nigeria in their own image and likeness. But unfortunately, there's a Fulani agenda, there's an Igbo agenda, there's an Ijo agenda, there's a Niger Delta agenda, there is a Middle Belt agenda, there's a Christian agenda, there's a Fulani agenda. But what is the Yoruba agenda in Nigeria? We do not have any agenda. And because we do not have any agenda, we have become victims to our countrymen, our fellow countrymen of other ethnicities. We have become victims to our neighbors. We have even become victims to ourselves. We are complaining of the Ishekiris being oppressed in their ancestral homeland in Warri. We are complaining of the Yorubas in Kwara. Where some people are intentionally rewriting history and trying to rewrite the history of Ilorin into the 21st century. We also have the problem in Lokoja where some people are saying that the Yoruba people of Lokoja, that land does not belong to them. We have the same problem in Ogorimagongo. God, in his infinite mercies, is not creating new lands. The land that the word that God has created is what everybody is going to fight tooth and nail to control. A land that you cannot defend does not belong to you. So that is why I'm asking this rhetorical question. Why are we even blaming the Igbos? Who are the Igbos? They are another ethnic nationality, another race that are predominantly in the southeastern part of Nigeria. And they are majorly the dominant force in the dominant bloc in the southeast region. The entire Igbo land is almost equivalent to the entire Kwara state and almost equivalent to the entire Oyo state. So Oyo state is equivalent to the southeast. And even the land, there are so many places that they are suffering. There's no good water. They cannot even get water, good underground water. Places like Enugu. Many of the lands are susceptible to erosions. The land is landlocked. It is surrounded by hostile neighbors. To the north, hostile neighbors to the south, hostile neighbor to the west, hostile neighbor to the east. They are a people that do not have any external border with any other West African country. They do not have border with Cameroon to the east. So they are a pure Nigerian people. True and true. And the reality is that they understand and they have a huge population. They are a people with big agenda. They also want to be an empire building race. They want to be powerful. They want to be relevant. What they do not have, they appropriate it. They take other people's culture, adopt other people's way of life. Some people call them cut and join, but you cannot blame a people who know their deficiency and they are ready to do everything to survive. And we are going to start from history. We are going to start from what Zeke did. From the start, during the time of Zeke. The reality is that the Yoruba people, because of Western education, we think morality is universal. The Yoruba people think morality is global. The Yoruba people think morality, the way we see morality, is the way everybody should see morality. We have even forgotten ourselves to understand what Nigeria is. And everybody is defining their Nigeria. But my own people have refused to define Nigeria. The Fulani people have been able to define Nigeria in their own image and likeness. They ensured that their own geopolitical space is being controlled by Sharia law. They ensured that the Sultan of Sokoto they've been able to use the Nigerian structure to give him a powerful position in order to maintain their relevance even though they are a minority, within the Nigerian space. They continue to expand one way or the other. And they continue to use the instrument of Islam as a means of geopolitical power and influence within Nigeria. Many of us will say, oh, they are useless people, but they do not care. Because they understand what Nigeria is. And they will do everything to survive. Invariably, the Fulanis and the Igbos, they play survival politics. The Yorubas, on the other hand, we want to build a nation called the Nigerian nation, while the Fulanis and the Igbos want to build an empire. That is why they tell you, when the average Fulani man tells you that the north is the north, one north, the corner, one north, he's talking about the Sokoto Caliphate. The power and the hegemony of the Sokoto Caliphate. And you look at the Igbos. The Igbos, they do not have any empires. Within Nigeria, they do not have any empires. They never built any powerful kingdom. And they understand no powerful indigenous civilization. What did they do? They were able to clone themselves into the Anglo-Saxon, Catholicism, Judeo-Christian civilization. That's what they've done. That's why they are positioning themselves to be the custodian of Catholicism in Nigeria. We see how the move. An Igbo man is currently is currently part of the papacy. One of the highest positions you can reach in Catholicism. And Catholicism itself is an empire. The Pope is still an emperor. That is why the Vatican City is a country on its own. It's an empire. It is the standing relic, the spiritual arm of Western civilization, of Roman Empire civilization. That's why you saw almost all the European powers and other Western powers, when they went to talk during the burial of the late Pope. May he rest in peace. So the Igbos have been able, because they have a think tank. That is why you see everything they talk about. They are not talking about destroying the state of origin. They are talking about using Atatürk system of government as a means for Nigeria, or they are advocating for a coup d'etat. You cannot blame such a people. We need to blame ourselves. What is our plan within Nigeria? If you do not have any agenda, you will be used for the agenda of others. And that's exactly where we find ourselves as a people. We have now been used as a menu on the plate of others. The Igbos, from the beginning of Nigeria, they said they do not want a federal republic of Nigeria. They want a unitary system where a Yoruba man, a Igbo man will come to Ibadan and be claiming to be an Ibadan indigene. They said it. They wanted a melting pot. All the moves by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Yoruba leader in the First Republic, pre-independence and post-independence, to ensure that we had secession clause. Even the Chief Bode Thomas, may he rest in peace, even advocated for confederation because they could define Nigeria for what it is, as a mere geographical expression. But the Igbo said no, because it was going to, their place was not viable. Igbo land as an ethno-linguistic block within Nigeria is not viable to be alone. That's why every call for Biafra is like a mini Nigeria. There are other ethnicities being drafted into Biafra, because Akwa Ibom and Cross River in landmass is as big as the entire Southeast. So they need land. The struggle in Nigeria, the killings, it's about land and resources. The nepotism, the politics is about land and resources. Everything we are talking about is about land and resources. And this is the Yoruba people that have believed this foolishness, that it is possible for us to one way or the other create a garden of Eden in Nigeria. It is impossible. We are not approaching Nigeria from a realistic point of view. And we are now fighting, oh, the Igbos want to take our land. When many of us started preaching this message several years ago, that we need to protect and have self-preservation in our land, many of our people insulted us. Now, we have seen that other ethnicities, especially the Igbos, are emboldened and they are making demands in Yoruba land. They want to turn themselves to an ethnic bloc within Nigeria, in another man's space. Even though their own space is on lockdown. We cannot blame them, because it's in geopolitics, your naivety, your stupidity is nobody's business. We are the stupid ones. Sorry to use those strong words. And they are taking ruthless advantage of it. That's what happens in geopolitics. So the Igbos are not the problem. We Yorubas are the problem. The Igbos, no matter where they are, all across the world and all across Nigeria, they spend their money with themselves. Most Igbo billionaires and elites are married to their fellow Igbos. The money stays within the Igbo race. They are not the reason why Yoruba men are ridiculous, misbehaving everywhere. Igbos are not the reason why we are selling land indiscriminately without thinking about our future. Igbos are not the reason why local government chairmen in Yoruba land are giving out local jobs to outsiders. Igbos are not the reason why our political elites are giving contracts to non-Yoruba firms in Yoruba land. Economic power is the most important power. If you don't have economic power, you are going to lose everything. Because even without economic power, if you are poor, your beautiful women will marry other ethnicities. It is the bitter truth. That is why poverty is one of the greatest tools for control. There is feudalism in the corn nuts. The poverty in the corn nuts is artificial. It is for control. But I'm not here to talk about the corn nuts today. It is feudalism. Full blown. That was the greatest mistake Awolowo made was he was going to go and build schools in the corn nuts. How it became a mistake. And we must never forget that when Awolowo said he was also going to build schools in Yoruba land and make it free for all Yoruba children in the First Republic, there were several Yoruba elites who felt threatened, and they started campaigning from door to door, villages to villages, to say that nobody should send their children to Awolowo school. That if you send your children to Awolowo school, your children will not be able to help you on the farms. So we are battling, we are fighting an old war. And the Igbos, after saying, when you say the Yoruba people, liberalism is not the reason why you are not keeping money in your community. We are just a people that have lost this basic common sense of self-preservation as a people. What we are openly teaching the Yoruba people, which is, let us empower our fellow Yorubas. You don't need to teach animals. Even you don't need to teach monkeys, animals, for them to understand this. It shows that we are a decadent people and we are a declining civilization. Most of the glories we claim was the glory. Oh, Oduduwa, Oromiyàn. These people did this 1,000 years ago. What have we done in 2025? What have we done? If we cannot outdo what our ancestors did 500, 600 years ago, we are failures as a people. Uthman Fodio is no more. Ahmadu Bello is no more. The Fulanis are still keeping their power and control in the Connaught. Awolowo is no more. We can barely control Lagos. We are still arguing about Ilorin. We are still fighting between Oni of Ife versus Oyo or versus Alafin. We're still fighting about Oni of Ife versus Oba of Benin. It shows how the mighty has fallen. And we've seen what the Fulanis did. The Kanuri Empire and the Sokoto Caliphate were mortal enemies. But within Nigeria, despite the radical political interest, they've been able to use politics to be able to match those different civilizations into a monolithic one not within Nigeria. That is a feat of social engineering. We still we are still fighting between Oni of Ife and Alaafin of Oyo. These are the same people, same brothers. We are still fighting between Oba of Benin and the Alaafin of Oyo, which shows how weak we are. We should stop blaming the Igbos. We should start blaming ourselves. It is not the fault of Igbos that the Igbos were able to radicalize and brainwash a lot of Yoruba youths to become the enemy of the Yoruba race in the obedient movements. It is not their fault. It is the fault of all of us and the failure of the Yoruba community to teach their children history. We failed. We failed from the home. We refuse. The Igbos, whether it is lie, even though most of their history that they are telling their children is full-blown lies. They still brainwash their children from even the Igbo mother married to another race still brainwashes his children. What have we done? We are just producing children, and our children, we are pushing them empty. Their mind is hollow, plain, and our children are being weaponized against us. So it had to take a high degree of humiliation after the 2023 election for many Yorubas to come back to their senses and start asking, what am I doing in this diabolical camp that are always mocking and denigrating the Yoruba race? We failed as a people. We failed. We did not do what we need to do. And every time we are always abusing the Igbos. We say the Igbos want to take over all the markets. Oh, Alaba was a Yoruba market. Many of these markets, Oshodi, those are ancient Yoruba markets. What happened? Because the Yoruba people refused to spend Yoruba money with Yoruba people. If you lived anywhere in the world, especially in the Western world, go to Germany. There are Turkish shops. The Turks, the Muslim community, especially the Turkish community, will always stake their money to their fellow Turks and spend their money with their fellow Turks. Even if you don't go to Aldi, Kaufland, or Lidl, and they are selling 1 kilogram of rice for 2 euros, and you go to a Turkish shop, it is 2.5 euros or 3 euros. They will not say because it is cheap. They will not go and be buying from those big markets. They will still spend their money with their fellow Turks. You go to restaurants, to Chinese restaurants, all across the world. People that are working there, 98% of them are Chinese. They create businesses, and those that will be working there are going to be their own people. What happens to Yoruba people? We want to be woke. We want to be woke. We start saying, oh, Yoruba Oda, Emada Yoruba Sishe. And we continue to destroy our society. It is not the fault of Igbos. And they say, oh, Yoruba people are employing Igbos. Igbos are not employing us. It's not, they are not stupid people like you. Go and look at Jewish companies. Go and look at German companies. Go and look at Arab companies. They empower themselves. It is common sense. Many of you work in Lebanese companies. Who are the people heading the Lebanese companies in Nigeria? It is their fellow Lebanese. Why are you not accusing them of tribalism? They are not stupid people. Spending your money with your fellow Yorubas is a way of taking poverty from the Yoruba people. Every time they call your people Agbero, lazy, how are you going to stop this? Say, spend your money with your fellow Yorubas. This is common sense. There is a tag called buy Irish. You buy Irish. And that's how you work. That's how you protect your community. You come to the United Kingdom, you go to so many Pakistani markets, all these their markets. You will never see a white English going to that market to buy anything. But what do you see? You see the people in hijab coming to come and buy there. Because they understand the power of groupnomics. Groupnomics gives you economic power. Igbos understand the power of groupnomics. And that's why Igbos are so ruthless. So when they make laws, they even make law that you cannot, if you are not Igbo, you cannot be the market leader where they are in Yoruba land. They are not hiding it. Because they know we have not figured out what they are doing. We have not figured it out. It's an economic power, ruthless power. Now they've amassed so much economic power. Now they are challenging our political control of our space. And they understand the darkness of the soul, but the darkness of all humans. Everybody has a price. So a lot of our people go and get money they get money for them to contest for elections. And they start spitting all sort of nonsense against their race. People like Pharaoh Timi, have been saying all sort of nonsense against important Yoruba people. Like the blackmail he did against Chief Afe Babalola. That is when you've lost control of your society. So how do we take our society back? It is not by shouting. It's not even by PVC. It's an intentional. All of us, this is not what CYF can do or anybody can do. Afenifere cannot do this. We intentionally take back our country and our land, our states rather. There's no big deal about that. I lived in Kano. You go to many shops in Kano, even because the Hausa Fulanis are not stupid people. Go to Kano, the big shops. Especially there's a place very close to Gedi Road when you go to BUK, Maduguri Road. Around that axis, there's a big place, GSM, like a computer village, the one you have in Lagos. I've forgotten the name. People in Kano will understand what I'm talking about. It is controlled from beginning to end. It is Hausa Fulani boys that are controlling of that market. Because they understand, they are not stupid. Because if the indigenous people of a place is impoverished, they will be chased out and destroyed. There are many ways in which people can go extinct. So the Igbos understand that. So the Igbos understand that they do not have the capacity to build from the scratch, but they can take what other people have built. The Turkish Empire was built by taking over the Byzantine Empire. Oh, we are born to dominate. Why are you not replicating the same thing back home? They don't care. Because that is their own life. And we cannot blame them for it. We need to start talking to ourselves. And I'm happy we are doing this. I'm happy the way we called out the chairman of the Kojefe local government. This is Yoruba land. You don't pander to outsiders. That is people power. Before, we were not taking note of all these things. Now we are fighting about our culture. We are fighting. This is something we should have done 30, 40 years ago. But it's not too late. And we must stop blaming the outsiders. Because we sabotaged ourselves. We refuse to speak out. The Igbos, see the way the Igbos people speak when they want to make demands. They don't care about their degrees. They don't care about their PhDs. The only people who believe they are too educated to fight for their people are the Yoruba people. Your PhD is useless. Your professor is useless if you cannot fight for your people. The Jews fight for Jews. Albert Einstein, who is probably the most brilliant person on the surface of the earth, he fought for the Jewish cause. But you went to just one university that is still ranked number 3,000 in the world. You are too ashamed to fight for the Yoruba cause. Are you better than Albert Einstein? But you look at the Igbos. Go and look at the Igbos in the diaspora. Whether they are professors, they are surgeons, they all belong to one Igbo socio-cultural organization. Go to the Yoruba people. Our professors, our PhD, they do not belong to anything. They are totally disconnected from their community. The only time they remember their Yoruba is when they want to go to church on Sunday or they want to go to parties. So how are we going to be powerful when we are living our life in this way? When we are living our life as highly irresponsible people. Are Igbos actually our problem? We are the problem. There was a gun put to the head of Moyo Ogunlewe to do what he did? No. Was a gun put to the head of Sanwo-Olu for applying one Igbo man as the head of cybersecurity? No. Even though the same Sanwo-Olu is being currently mocked by Igbo nationalists today. They were even doing a video and putting like a cocaine powder on his nose. They don't care because they know there is no repercussion. There's no economic repercussion. There is no political repercussion for every nonsense they are doing to our people, even though they are surviving in Yoruba land. Take away Yoruba land from them, they will not survive. It's not their fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. All of you listening to me, you refuse to teach your children Yoruba. You refuse to teach your children Yoruba. You refuse to give your children Yoruba names. You refuse to teach them Yoruba history. We started this powerful socio-cultural, socio-political organization for the past 5 years. How many attacks have we seen? It's our fellow Yorubas. It's our fellow Yorubas. So we had a problem. So to fix this problem, the issue of Ilani or Kwara State is not a Fulani problem. It is the Yoruba people there that are creating problems. The issue of Kogi State, it is the Yoruba people that are creating problems. The Shekiri problem, it is the Shekiris that are creating problem in Wari, that are sabotaging their people. We need to start talking to ourselves as a race. That are we even interested in surviving as a people? We've seen today the Igbos will be expanding, claiming in Banke. The second day, they will be saying that they want to do constitution that will remove indigenous rights. You think they don't know what they are doing? They know that if Nigeria becomes free for all, like a pure jungle, they will emerge. Can the Yoruba people have do we have the mind to go and open baby factory? We can't. Are we ready to risk our lives, young boys, to be going to Vietnam, to be going to Thailand, to be doing drugs? And thousands of our youths are being killed, beheaded every year. We cannot do such things to amass money. So they can go to the extreme. They don't care. Because they think about the reward. Their own worldview is totally different. It's pure based on Zionism. Sorry to say this, it's a bit the truth. They copied the Zionist blueprints. That's why they call themselves Jews. I'm not anti-Semitic. So
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
we need. Now I'm wrapping up.
Okay, ẹ ṣeun ààrẹ.
We need to talk to ourselves and ask ourselves this question: what is exactly the problem of the Yoruba people? We are the problem. We are the problem. And that's why a lot of people are now overreacting. That's why even sometimes when people like us to say, oh, let us take it easy, you cannot blame our people because they are now opening, their eyes have now opened. Our children don't have jobs. Yoruba youths, Awori youths, no jobs. They graduated from school. But you go to Lagos state apparatus. Igbos are all over there speaking Igbo. And they're asking questions, what is happening in our land? It's not their fault. The mindset of an Igbo man when he gets into a particular position is, how will I help my fellow Yorubas? My fellow Igbos. The mindset of a Yoruba man, especially, I'm sorry, the Holy Ghost, especially the Western educated Yorubas, is when they get into power, they get into an office, is how will he, even though Alabosinio is an hypocrite, he's a damn hypocrite. How will he show the entire world that he is detribalized? Oh, competency. Oh, you want to become a level 8 officer here. Do you have a master's? Your master's degree. Do you have PhD grade? Meanwhile, in the same office, people with third class, people with degrees from Togo, from Chad are getting position. But for his, when he gets there, he will start asking that, do you have Queen's certificate in Queen's English? Ridiculous questions and requirements. And the same people will also come to Yoruba and be saying, oh, Yoruba, come on, Shanu Yoruba ni. Yoruba. All of you in the audience that are doing this, you are destroying us. You've destroyed us. Don't you know if you give a job to a Yoruba son, he's going to have a child, a wife, 4 or 5 kids, and you are taking, that means you've taken 6 Yoruba people from the street, from poverty. Just that job you are giving to that Yoruba man. Just that job. And you are saying, so the Igbos are not the problem. We have a problem of ourselves.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
It is common sense. It is common sense. The Jews help the Jews. The Germans help the Germans. The Indians, Hindus help the Hindus. The Sikhs help the Sikhs. The Gujaratis help the Gujaratis. The Chinese help the Chinese. The Japanese help the Japanese. The Turks help the Turks. The Germans help the Germans. The Somalis help the Somalis. The Arabs help Arabs. This is how they are all over the different world. The Lebanese help Lebanese. The only people who don't help themselves and they are going about saying all sort of rubbish are the Yoruba people. And we'll quote later. Who are the people who formed the quorum? Oh, we must destroy Tinubu. The Yoruba people. And they will be laughing. Yes, we are trying to be detribalized. So, this issue of, oh, Igbo this, Igbo that. Oh, they give a Yoruba man, they give a Igbo man ticket. Who is the party chairman that did it? A Yoruba man is there. Who is the party chairman who are the party chairman in PDP in Lagos? Who are the party chairman in APC in Lagos? Who are the people giving out these tickets? The Fulani will not do that. Sabongeri is almost a Igbo colony. In Kano, millions of people live there. They will never get that ticket. The Fulanis are not stupid. The people that are doing this are their fellow Yorubas. So our problem are not the Igbos. It is the fellow Yorubas selling us out. That is how Igbos have the audacity to be challenging us in our space. tógìrì ò bá lanu aláǹgbá kò lè wọ ògiri. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.